Hi YouTube, it's Autumn. Today I'm going to talk to you about my vintage Louis Vuitton Noe GM, and I'm going to tell you the story behind it, how I acquired it, why I wanted it, how it's been working for me because I've had it for about a year, how I accessorize it, any information I can think of that might be helpful to you. And I have some notes in front of me here, so if I look down at my notes, forgive me for that. So I want to start with why I wanted this bag. So I was never a fan of bucket bags, and I don't know if technically this is supposed to be a bucket bag, but I think of it as one. But last year, about a year ago, I started watching YouTube videos on luxury bags, specifically on Louis Vuitton, which I've always loved the brand. So I came across this bag and some videos, and thinking back today, there were three that really stood out to me that made me want to buy this bag, and they were by Hey June, Yesenia's Journey, and Kimchella, and I'll put the links to those three videos below. But those three people had these vintage bags that were beautiful. They got really great deals on them. That was part of what drew me to it. And they really loved the bag and seemed really passionate about it. And I feel like especially Yesenia's Journey, I was impressed by how much she loved her bag. So I started looking at them. And it was one of the things I learned from the videos is that this bag was designed originally as a luggage piece to carry champagne. And if you don't know, it can hold 4 bottles and then an upside down bottle in the center. And I was about to go to, I learned about this bag last summer, and in October of last year, I was about to go on a trip to Napa and Sonoma. And I thought, what a perfect bag to take there. I didn't end up taking it because of the weather, and it was, there was some rain predicted, and I didn't want to risk ruining the vachetta and getting the water spots and such. But that was my excuse for buying it, having a wine bag. And I go to wineries all the time, so that was just a great excuse to get this bag. Plus the price, because you can get such great deals. Like I think it was Hey June said she paid, and she's in Australia, but it was something around the equivalent of $100 or $100 something, which is crazy cheap for a Louis Vuitton bag, as you know. So let's see how I purchased this bag. So once I decided that I was interested in it, I started researching it, which is what I do. I'm a big researcher. So I have a background, although I'm an art teacher. I teach photography and filmmaking and yearbook at a middle school. I also am educated in, I have 2 degree paths that I took. One was in art for painting and filmmaking and not so much photography in college. I did some of that in high school. But I also did psychology, and I ended up in a PhD program for psychology and got a master's out of it because I didn't do my dissertation because I knew that I wasn't going to pursue that field. But anyway, because of that science background, I am really big on research. And so I did a lot of research on this bag, just like I do in any big purchase that I make, and even small purchases. So I checked a lot of Preloved sites like eBay and Etsy, and The RealReal and Bag Borrow and Steal, which is where I got my Trevi, and Fashionphile, of course, and several other Preloved sites. There are a gazillion Preloved sites. I have a long list of them somewhere. And I finally found this bag on eBay. And there were several of them available. Now, when I was looking, and if you are looking for one, you're going to see this too, it is pretty difficult, kind of challenging to find a bag where the vachetta is in great shape because these bags are vintage. Mine is almost 30 years old. And I wanted one that didn't have water spots. And you can see this is pretty clean. And you can see some streaking on it, but that's from me cleaning it. And it's actually in better shape than it after I cleaned it. Well, kind of. Than before I cleaned it. And I say that because I just posted a video on how I damaged this bag from cleaning it. So go 2 videos back and you'll see that. But overall, it's cleaner. The color of the vachetta is more uniform, and it looks a lot better than it did before I cleaned it. But anyway, it was challenging to find a bag that the vachetta was really clean on, especially the bottom, because you sit this down and over, 20 or 30 plus years that people have had this bag, it gets dirty. Things happen to it. So it's hard to find one that's in what I consider excellent condition like this one. But I finally found this one, and I thought it was in great shape, and it was an eBay auction. Now, usually I don't do eBay auctions. I would rather do a buy it now, even if I am paying a little more, because I just find the auctions to be kind of a hassle. But a lot of the buy it now ones, like if you look at Fashionphile, you're going to pay $700+ for one of these bags. And part of that is because they're going to be newer bags. They won't be as old as this one. Oh, and one thing also just to be aware of, when you look at the vintage bags, they have different handles. Like I think Hey June's maybe had raw leather here, so like not vachetta, vachetta on the outside, but then it was like a suede on the inside, like on the leather pull on the Speedies, if that makes sense. So there were some changes in this bag over time, so just be aware of that when you're looking for one of these bags. But anyway, I decided to do this auction and take my chances, and I put in my max bid, and I was hoping to get a super great deal like Hey June did, and I paid something I was comfortable with, but it was a little more than I'd hoped. I think I put my maximum bid in at maybe $400, and I ended up getting it for $320 plus like $11 shipping. So still $320 for a fantastic condition Louis Vuitton bag is a steal, right? So I got the bag pretty immediately. I cleaned the brass. Now I've had this for almost a year, so I need to go back and clean it again. And let me show something to you that I did. I used Brasso. I have this out here. I used Brasso, which is what everybody says to use. And it worked fantastic, but I want to show you something. On the inside, let me find a good example. I was careful not to let the Brasso touch, the vachetta, because that will stain it. Sorry about my bird. Vincent, stop. But you see the little white spots right there around the canvas? So I wasn't careful about not getting Brasso on the canvas, so it left some marks. And I've never tried to clean that off. I think it would probably come off with soap and water, not soap maybe, but maybe water, and then if not that, then maybe soap and water. But anyway, that doesn't worry me because it's on the inside of the bag. I did get the Brasso on one piece of the vachetta just to show you what it looks like. You see, I'm trying to get some good light on that. You see that dark spot right there? That's from the Brasso. So that's what it'll do if you're not careful. I don't know how I got that on. I must have left that little leather tab in there when I was cleaning, which would be really stupid. That doesn't make sense. I don't know. Anyway, so I won the bag. And let's see. I'm looking at my notes. Sorry. Okay, blah, blah, blah. I did all that. Okay. The date code on this bag is kind of hard to find. And I don't know if it's going to show up on the camera here. I tell you what, I'm not going to even bother really trying to show it to you, but I'll tell you where it is. So these side tabs here, and it's right here, it's written on the inside of one of these, and you have to pull it back really hard to see it. And on a bag this age, it can be worn down, and it can't be worn down completely where there's not even a date code visible anymore. And let me show you on the handle too, some of the markings. And I don't know if these are going to show up very well because this bag is, let's see, the date code on it. Hold on, where did I write it down? Here it is, in a different planner. So the date code on this is AR1901, and that means it was made in France in March of 1991. So that makes it 26 years old. So the stamping, it's going to say Louis Vuitton Paris there. That's upside down, I think. So it says Louis Vuitton Paris there, and it has the little R for the trademark. And then on the back side of the handle, it says Made in France, and I can't tell if that is upside down or not. So if it is, I apologize. And then on the bag itself, so I showed you where the date code is. On the bottom tab, it's going to say Louis Vuitton Paris there with the little R for the registered trademark. And on the other side of the tab, it's going to say Made in France or wherever it's made. See the damage I did when I cleaned it recently? Watch that video to learn what not to do. Alright, so those are the markings on the bag. Those are some of the things to look for when you're looking to get an authentic bag. Let me see what else here. So the size of the bag, the GM, I don't have the exact dimensions, but you can go on the Louis Vuitton website and get those. But what I do want to show you, because so many people have the Neverfull, it's very similar in size to the Neverfull. And let me take some things out here because I was not prepared, as usual. Alright. Okay, so what I'm going to do, and by the way, in this bag you notice I have this pillow. That's because I keep it stuffed like that for when I store it. And it makes it easier to show you guys with the pillow in it, because when I take it out, you see how floppy the canvas is because it's aged and it's been worn and it's very supple, which I love. So, alright, so I'm going to show you the bases of these two bags next to each other, because the bases are pretty much the same size. Okay, well, I guess they're not. Yeah, I guess they're really not. Okay, never mind. I had it in my head that they were very similar. So anyway, that's the Neverfull MM and the Noe GM. So that's what they look like next to each other. Tomorrow I'm getting another organizer that I got specifically for this bag. So I'm going to review some organizers tomorrow. The Vercord felt organizer from Amazon, and I'll talk more about the sizes and the fit of those then. So, oh, and I wanted to show you too some other comparisons to the Neverfull. So here's the height. Okay, so the Noe is a little bit taller, and you saw the bases. So anyway, I still, even though the bases look so different there, I still feel like they're pretty much the same size. So if you are considering a Neverfull, this is another option for you that it would be a lot cheaper if you get the vintage bag. And some people don't like the Neverfulls because they say the straps are uncomfortable. This strap, you can see how thick it is, and that's because it was made to carry 5 bottles of champagne. So this thing can withhold a lot of weight, and it's really comfortable to wear. And just to point out to you, I also did another video just now about these clips, because the clips are not original to the bag. I added those on. So if you're interested about that or wondering about it, watch that video. It should be right before this one. Alright, so blah, blah, blah. I did all that. Okay, so I want to show you a little bit about how I dress this bag up. So, Yesenia's Journey, one of the videos that I watched, she had a foxtail bag charm on hers, and I just found this one. I've kind of been looking for one since I saw her video. I found this one at Claire's, of all places, for like $12. I just got it the other day. And right now, if you're watching this in current time, which is June of 2017, Claire's is having a buy 3, get 3 sale on most of the store. So I just bought a bunch of charms and got 3 of them free. So anyway, here's one of the charms. The foxtail is really cute on this bag, I think. And yeah. So I have that one. And then I also, if you look at my Instagram, and on Instagram I'm Autumn's Dogs, one word, and I'll have the link for that below. You'll see that recently I went to the Houston Zoo, and I took my vintage Gucci scarf in the safari print. I'm going to hold that up so you can see the whole thing. So there it is. So I took this scarf and I rolled it up and I turned it into a handle for this bag. So anyway, I'm not going to do it exactly, but if you look at my Instagram, I have a few pictures of it. I thought it was really pretty, and the brown color on the border of the scarf matches almost perfectly with the aged vachetta there. So that looked really pretty together. So that's how I have styled this bag. And I also tie scarves, other scarves to the end of it. What else do I have on my list to talk about? For me, and I know this isn't for everyone at all, but for me, the monogram print is for casual outfits. Like there's something about the colors of it, I guess, that just, for me, I would only wear it with really casual outfits, like jeans and, some kind of casual top. For dressier outfits, I wear the damier Eben, and then for really light color outfits, I wear the azure. And that's all I've got on my list here. Again, I apologize for my bird in the background who won't be quiet. Hi, Vincent. You can see her in other videos previously. Get out of here. I'm sitting here doing a video. You gotta get out of here. Vincent. Yeah, Vincent, get out of here. Okay, so that's the information I have for you on the vintage Noe GM. And please, if you have any questions, I'd love to hear from you guys. So write anything you want below. And I've been really good about answering everybody or responding. Also, if you like this video, click the like button. If you want to see more, please click the subscribe button. And that is all for now. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.